Welcome to the Bald Truth Leadership Podcast, where you get straightforward, no-nonsense ideas on leadership and growth, both personally and professionally. It's brought to you by the Chief Coaching Officer of the Peak Performance Group. He's also a brilliant and successful serial entrepreneur. He's a two-time author. He's a certified executive coach. He's a sales genius. He's bald.
Hey now.
And he's your host of the Bald Truth Leadership Podcast. Buckle your chin strap. Here's your host, Coach Rick Colster.
Hey, welcome to the Bald Truth Leadership Podcast. I'm Coach Rick, your host. Remember to like and subscribe. We're available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, YouTube video, and like and subscribe so you get every episode. Welcome, and thanks for tuning in. It is Friday. I'm excited. Folks, today, as always, the Bald Truth is about leadership, and our guest today is my kind of guy. Straightforward, no nonsense, no holds barred. It's like being in a fucking MMA fight or wrestling match talking with this dude. Former Navy SEAL, TV star, and expert in helping people conquer their challenges. Recently, he's been all over the internet with my favorite coffee company, Black Rifle Coffee. Guys, I need a little sponsorship here.
Boom.
Help a brother out. So, you're the new HR person, I think, right?
It was short-lived, sir, but yeah, I was the fucking
job,
HR
right?
rep.
Yeah, he's a veteran with multiple tours overseas. He's been featured on the History Channel, The Selection. Love that show. And I wish I was young enough, I would have challenged myself to do it. Discovery Channel, the channel's Ultimate Shoulder, and BBC Ultimate Hell Week. I do not want to go Hell Week with you, dude. He's a push-up monster. He challenged me to a couple push-ups. I think I stayed with him. He might have kicked my ass a little bit, but that's what got him here on the Bald Truth. So we'll touch on that. Amazing motivational speaker, folks. He talks about high-functioning teams and organizational transformation. So leaders, as you're listening, hi, darling. How you doing?
How are you?
This is my coffee girl who brings me my Black Rifle coffee. So go ahead.
There you go. That's what it's all about, bringing that Black Rifle coffee.
He's a brat.
This guy is the ultimate leader because people do things. They want to do things for him because they want to, not because he makes them do it. Today, we welcome my new friend, Ray Cash Care, to the Bald Truth. Ray, welcome, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you and welcome to the Ray Cash Care Show. My name is Ray Cash Care, and I'm going to take you on an epic fucking adventure today. And yes, I drink whipped cream in my Black Rifle coffee.
Salute.
Thank you for having me, sir. Seriously, old man, I appreciate it. That's something that we started. How old are you?
What's that? How old am I? 62.
Yeah, you're old as fuck. I'm 49. I look fantastic. You're
I
old.
know.
You're
And
bald.
look at
I got
me.
great
Look
hair.
at
Let's
this for
go.
this. I can't keep up with that. You know why I don't look like you, Ray?
Why?
Because I like cake and cookies too much.
I hear you, brother. No, I love it. Thank you. No, seriously, on a serious note, thank you for having me on. Huge supporter, huge follower, huge fan. So let's fucking get to it.
Let's get to it. Well, you're an expert in high performance leadership. You've been working with teams. You've run teams. You've been out there with teams. What would you say is your leadership philosophy? Let's start off with philosophy, and then we'll go from there. How do you approach leadership?
My approach to leadership is do as I say, do as I'm doing, not do as I say, not as I do. I think there's two types of leaders, good leaders and bad leaders. And my philosophy is if you're going to be a fucking leader, you have to understand the three leaders of leadership and apply them at all times. Number one, lead. Lead from the front, lead from the rear, lead always. Even when you're allowing your troops to lead, you're still back there leading, overseeing things, not micromanaging. Number two, you need to listen. My philosophy is the more you listen, the more you're going to ingest. Because most leaders, when they get to a certain point, they only hear people, selective hearing. No. As a leader, my philosophy is listen to every single fucking person on your team because eventually they're going to have a different perspective on things and it will work. Number three, learn. Learn from your mistakes and learn from others. That is my philosophy. There is nobody out there that is doing it right all the fucking time. So sometimes, because here's my philosophy. That's the way it's always been done. It's horseshit.
That's bullshit. I call people on that all the time.
I just spoke to a company and the vice president of the company, he had that in his office. He says, I got so much shit from them. Like, you couldn't be farther from the truth. That is what people need to understand. I told him to get fucking T-shirts made of that. the ways of this is how it's always been done is wrong. There is always different ways of making micro and macro adjustments to make things better. The problem is a lot of leaders, they get on this fucking ego trip and they think just because it's working, that means it's right. Because how I look at human beings is they're steel and they're cars. So you can have I'm a Dodge guy, right? I like that new TRX 702 horsepower, 8 cylinders, a fucking beast. You could have 2 cylinders not running on that thing and it's still going to be a fast vehicle, but it's not going to be running its optimal performance. So as a leader, you need to adjust and adapt to the times, listen to people, learn from people, and lead so that you can be running all 702 horsepower of whatever it is you and your company are doing. Boom.
Boom. That's perfect. Because, I love what you said is you got to listen. You got to listen to your people, what's going on. Yeah. And especially the one thing, and I tell companies all the time during our consulting, we tell companies, if I hear the words, it's the way we've always done it, I'm throwing a bullshit flag right there. Boom. Throwing the flag right there. That's bullshit.
Now, I wouldn't be here if shit didn't need to be changed. People wouldn't be paying me astronomical amounts of money, or you, because you run you've done leadership too. I mean, people pay me a lot of fucking money to come in and change shit up, right? To cause chaos and turmoil, to shake things up, to call people out on their bullshit, right? Like the first thing I do when I go to a company is I take a piece of paper and I have them write down what are the company's core values.
That's right.
80% of people don't know the core values. What are the alternate revenue streams that your company has? They don't know. They don't know one fucking revenue stream. Tell me something about the CEO of the company. They don't even fucking know who the CEO of the company is when they get to that level. So what do I tell the CEOs? Shame on you, not them. Shame on you, not them, because leadership is from the bottom to top to bottom, right? I do a lot of courses with Bedros Keuilian, which we'll talk about in a minute. And the one thing I just did, we did Comcast Cable. We spoke to corporate Comcast Cable, right? And the CEO of the company, no one knew who the fuck he was. They got this giant building in Philadelphia. Myself and Steve Eckert, the Marine, the maniac. We went in there and we're like, listen, this is what you need to do, CEO. Go out and buy like $1,000 worth of $10 gift cards, Visa cards, right? If you can do fucking Starbucks, get your Starbucks thing. And as you're walking around the building, and you see somebody doing something, not their job, going above and beyond, right? Stop. Give them instantaneous gratification. Hey, guys, my name is Ray Kashkar. I'm the CEO of Conquer, and I want to acknowledge Coach Rick for stepping up, being an amazing male person, right? Because you can't say male boy these days or you get fucking shit. And I want to give you this gift card. I want everybody to take a round of applause and say boom, boom, and everybody applause. We did this. Harvard Business Study. People would rather get instantaneous gratification and a $10 gift certificate than they would a fucking raise. Why? Because raises take time and nobody fucking sees it.
That's exactly right. Exactly right, Ray. My wife, and I love her, just like you have a great wife. I've got a great wife. She walks around and looks, I call it find the gold star. Remember when we were little kids? Yep. And all you wanted on that piece of paper was that gold star at the top of the page, right? You didn't give a shit if you got an A or B or what. You did good work. You put a gold star up. I tell people, look for the gold stars. When your people look for them doing stuff that they never get recognized for, just putting in that extra time. My wife, when she sees somebody does something nice, she pulls out, she carries $100 in gift cards, $5 Starbucks gift cards, says, hey, have a cup of coffee on me. Yep. And you would see the people change. She did it to our waitress. She was having her ask it because, today, nobody wants to freaking work. We went to a restaurant and this girl was slammed. Full fucking place it's slammed and she was cranky. Trust me, this waitress was cranky. And we're cool. We're just here to have a couple drinks, have some food and chill out and have fun with friends. She said, look, you look like you're having a hard day. I'm going to give you a $5 gift card. Have a cup of coffee on me. This waitress immediately flipped and turned. It was $5. Who cares? But it changed the whole demeanor. And when people do that, I think that's where we miss it as leaders. We don't recognize our people the right way.
And I agree. And there's 3 battlefields that each human being deals with in their life. There's their personal battlefield, which is the internal struggle. So there's the battlefield, the business field, and the home field, right? Work and at home. Sure. Case in point, next time you go to a restaurant and you see somebody having a bad day, they don't have a fucking name tag on, say, hey, my name's Ray. What's your name? Because I don't want to call you Hey. My name is so-and-so. How long have you worked here? For 2 seconds, 3 years. And I really appreciate what you're doing. Just like Bedros Keuilian, my boss. He's got like 60 or 70 employees. He knows, and he tries to learn one new thing about each one of their employees every fucking day. Imagine being the CEO of a fucking company that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and I just walk up to you and say, "Hey, Coach Rick, and I know your wife's name, right? And
That's
hey,
right.
how's your wife doing? How's your kids doing? You know their names. How's Nyla and my kids? And how'd her ball game go?" Man, people automatically are going to connect with you at a different level. And what are they going to want to do? They're going to want to perform better because they think and they know and they feel that they're part of the team. And team is not fucking together. Everybody accomplishes more. That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. It's trust, effort, attitude, and mission, right? Trust.
Love it.
Trust. That's what it is, man. Trust.
Attitude, effort, and mission.
Yep. Effort. I don't want 100%. I want every fucking thing you got. And I don't want it just in 8 hours. I want it on and off your battlefield. Trust takes time, but guess what? How do you build a great team? Hire slow, fire fast.
Yeah.
Hire slow, fire
Amen,
fast.
brother.
You got to, dude. I'll tell you what. I work for the man. My hiring process took a while, but he said, "Listen, if you don't perform, you fuck me over. Watch how fast I can say you were fired."
Yeah, and that's what we need to do. We're
hold people accountable for that shit.
Encouraging.
What do people do now these times? They're hiring fast because of supply and demand. Can't do that, right?
And that's the challenge.
Effort, give me all you got. Attitude, nothing will open and close a door faster in this life. And any three of your battlefields, then a good or bad attitude. And last is mission. What is mission? Mission is growth. And there's 6 forms of growth on this planet: physical, mental, emotional, social, spiritual, and financial. And spiritual right now is not religious. It's the ability to believe, to achieve in yourself. That's what you have to do. And once you get that company, those individuals running on all 8 cylinders with the team, concept, because they're believing themselves and believing in you and believing in the mission, sky's the limit, man. We increase productivity, efficiency, and all around, what's I think more crucial than anything, a great work morale, because that's what you need. People, literally, I tell people as soon as I do my thing, number one, first thing you need to understand is you need to be grateful, not greedy. You have a job. Okay, so the days of sitting around collecting this unemployment bullshit, I'm embarrassed to. I mean, like, if I had to, I guess I would, but I'll get a job flipping fucking burgers to provide for my family.
Well, you're right. I say the same thing all the time. I don't care. I've been working since I'm 14 years old. And before that, I was cutting lawns around the neighborhood for Mr. Harms at, my age.
No fun when we were kids.
As old as I am, as you like to remind me, right? It was $1.75 to cut this old man's lawn.
Yep.
Now these kids, they can get $30. I'll give a kid $30 to cut my lawn so I don't have to sweat my ass off in this 100-degree heat in Texas. They don't want to do it. They don't want to freaking do it. No. We talk, I listened to Beth Van Dyne, who's a congressman or congresswoman from here in Texas, right up here in the Irving, Texas area, in North Texas. And she's talking that they keep extending this unemployment. People aren't working. You can't get help. There's no help out there. There's 10 million jobs and 8 million unemployed. I'm not a real mathematician here, but it seems like you should be able to fill some jobs here and there, folks. It's people don't want to do shit. They want to stay lazy. Well, that's where leadership comes in.
Yeah, and I think since, again, there is an age difference between us, but when we were kids, the message that was instilled in your DNA was get a job, provide for your family, work, right? You want to provide a better life. Obviously, that's what I do. My wife's a stay-at-home mom. She's got the hardest fucking job in the world.
Oh, hell yeah.
Runs my kids. But my job, right? I'm speaking for men and women, like, our job is to be savage servants. That's our job as leaders, to be a savage if we need to, right? To be passionate, to have desire, drive, create opportunity, but to also be a servant, right? Because here's what I tell people, right? In life, you only get to choose certain things. The one thing that you choose is your spouse. The second thing that you choose, depending on your education, is your occupation. That's the things that you can choose. You can't choose who your kids are. You can't choose if you get in the car, if you're going to live or die. You can't choose if you go to bed, if you're going to wake up the next day. So my point is I try as a leader to control what I can. I control what time I go to bed, what time I get up, what I put in my body, right? And who I surround myself with. After that, man, it's just fucking, you're rolling the dice. So my thing is I am a control freak. I love fucking controlling what I can. I love controlling my body and the way I look. I'm 49. I'm in better fucking shape than most people I know. Not everybody. And people are like, oh, you do. No, I fucking put in work, motherfucker. I go to the gym every day. Man.
And that's the thing is people don't want to put that work in.
They don't.
And it doesn't matter if I'm not talking just physical work, because look, I've been a competitive triathlete. I've been a college athlete. And so I stay in shape.
Yeah. Yeah, you look great. I mean, you're 112 years old. You look great.
That's right. It's because of the yoga that I'm doing.
No, I hear you, brother. No, seriously. But think about it. Just think about, because you were talking leadership. There's physical, mental, and emotional leadership, right? Yep. The first thing you do when you meet someone that is in your chain of command is you're going to look at their appearance. Like as a Navy SEAL, I don't respect overweight, super fat people, no offense, that are SEALs versus a guy that's, got the 29-inch waist and the big shoulders. I'm like, holy shit, I'm drawn to them. Now, is that fair? No, but and I have seen both spectrums where the physical appearance is a direct reflection of who that person is. But I've also seen some guys that are overweight that are amazing leaders. So you got to pick and choose. So my thing is control the way you look, control the way you fucking act, and control the way that you're going to treat people. And it's simple. Treat people the way you want to be treated as a leader, right?
Yeah.
And I honestly feel, and this is the one thing I was taught by Bedros Schooling, is never ask anyone to do anything you can't, haven't, and still won't do. I love that about that guy, right? That guy's worth like $500 million. If I'm out there doing something, he'll fucking roll up his sleeves and go, let's get to work, because he started from the bottom to the top versus Ricky Schroeder, silver spoons, being born into money, right? Yep. Showing my age and just feeling like you're entitled, because being a leader is a privilege, right? It's not a fucking title. It's a privilege. And it's a hard fucking job to lead, right? But the question I ask people is most people are bad leaders because they're trying to lead others, but they don't even know how to lead themselves. They're making poor decisions. They're doing bad things. They've got bad habits. They're not surrounding themselves with the right people. So that what they're doing is they're taking that negativity and they're literally transforming it and moving it over. It's a lateral transfer to their company, because that's my thing. It's like, how in the hell can you be a leader and, dominate in the world of corporate business or life if you can't handle your own shit? So I always tell people,
and I agree with that, because we end up being, leadership is one of those that's tribal knowledge. It's passed down. So whoever the guy was ahead of you, that was your leader, that's kind of going to be your leadership style. If you had a shitty leader, and we've had a lot of crappy leaders. I'll tell you what, I've worked for a lot of crappy bosses and they're just terrible leaders. So I had to go out and learn about servant leadership. How do I serve the people there? They don't work for me. Mm-hmm. I work for them. How do I do that? And I think it's mindset, which is another question I get. You talk a lot about mindset, and I know the teams are mindset. And I mentioned my nephew, who's currently serving. I can't even talk about him because he's doing whatever the fuck he's doing. Yep. But I asked him, how did he get through Ranger School? How did he get through Green Beret selection? And he said it was mindset, Rick. It was mindset. I had to put my mind over matter. Physically, he's a big stud, right? He could physically do it. And that's like when people go through buds. Is that a physical challenge for them as much as a mental challenge?
I think it's 80. And I think it's 80. I always tell people this, they laugh at me. It's 85% mental, 10% fucking physical, and 5% luck. People go, that makes no sense. Listen, man, if you can program, I'm a master programmer. If you can program the mind, the body will do it. Yeah. Because most men and women, as soon as they hit that barrier of uncomfortableness, because it's new terrain, they just shut it off. What do? I'm hurt, right? Usually when a man or woman's hurt, it's their ego, their attitude, or their feelings versus being injured. So a lot of individuals just don't want to be pushed. Me, that just falls under the emotional disciplines of life, the 3 colors, red, blue, and green. People are steel. And I'm into forging steel. I got knives all over the place. You have to heat it up, beat the living shit out of it, physically, mentally, emotionally, and then freeze it. And then what we're doing is that's what people need today. They need to remold that sword. And then your job, the symbolism of that sword is You need to sharpen it every day with the growth, physical, mental, emotional, social, spiritual, financial. It's a double-edged sword. Most people, Tulam, Ronin Tactics, is a very good friend of mine. He's a samurai. He said most people, they'll sharpen the sword, and once the sword is sharp, it's razor sharp, they put it away and they only use it when they need to. How do you know someone else doesn't use that knife?
That's
so
right.
Every day you have to sharpen it, right? And I have two different types of blades on there. One for tearing, one for cutting. I could stab. That my point is that blade represents what your role is in life, but you have got to constantly try to sharpen that blade 1% every day. If not in all fields, 1% better in my family. You just constantly, you cannot neglect.
So constant improvement, constant
improvement. Work in progress is what I say. No such thing as perfection.
I say same thing. Work in progress as, just kind of, what are you going to learn today? Man, yes. I've got my background up, but if you look here, I've got two bookshelves full of books. Mm-hmm. Read them. I got to get that mental edge. Got to learn, because that's what I do as a business coach and a life coach. That's part of what I've got to do. Yeah. So I've got to keep that mental edge. Of course, every day I'm going to finish up with our podcast. I'll edit it and I'll head to the gym for an hour, get my gym in. Then I'll come back. I'll do some more work. But it's that mental edge, physical edge, emotional edge. And then, tonight, social, we're going out with friends. Yep. So it's that combination, that life wheel they talk about, that life balance. I don't think there's balance. I think it's more about, we talk about life balance. I think it's rhythm, finding your rhythm. And when you get that rhythm, I know I got to work out every day. I know I got to eat right every day. I know I've got to read something every day. I've been learning Spanish, so I can go on vacation and order tacos and beer.
I love it.
I like tacos and beer. Right? Oh. But you know what? Something that you mentioned, we talked about mindset for a second, and that 85, 10 and 5. Mm-hmm. I loved watching you guys on the selection. That was that looked like it was fun to run. Tell us, how much fun was that to do and go through from as you're being the instructor? How much fun was that to do, taking civilians and running them through that simulated buds?
Well, at the beginning, it kind of sucked because, you have to weed out the weak. So once you weed out the weak and you start, like I said before, weeding out the strong, the individuals who really want to be there, it's an amazing experience looking from the outside in. But what made that show so successful was the instructors, not me, the other instructors, right? I mean, we joke around, but, Marcus, Donnie, Bert, Sean, and Tyler, the synergy that everybody had, the passion and the commitment, because this show wasn't about money. We didn't make a lot of money. What we want to do is we wanted to make a difference, an impact, and show people just a taste, because people think, the video games, I can be a Navy SEAL. I get it all the time. Well, if you can do it, then do it. I've told about 50 young men, if you graduate, buds, hit me up. I'll come out there and fly first class and see you in the Coronado. Not one has made it.
Yep.
Because they don't do the work, right? A lot of the people that got weeded out quick didn't put in the work. The individuals that made it, their life was fitness. Their life on different levels was mindset. We've been helping these guys. There were, 30 started. I think 4 or 5 made it. That's about right. Yeah. The one great, I think, nugget from that show is we didn't cut and edit anything. It was a live running show. Nothing was scripted. Like the episode 7 where the guy messed up on the burpees. I took a chance with that because I've done that before, and people get ahead of themselves, overachievers, and that's what the human mind does. It wants to move on to the next thing. So it always will skip 1 or 2. Good kid. He just made a mistake. But the transformations from the beginning, when we were yelling at them until it started to it transformed into, they became part of a team, and then we were disappointed in them. I think that hurt them. That hurt that young man worse than when I was screaming at him. Mm-hmm. Because it's amazing. Once you start understanding the intricacies of someone, you start knowing how to use their weaknesses against them. And, that young man was bullied in life, and there was a lot of things happening with him. So all I did was I was just disappointed. I acted like a male father figure who was disappointed, and it killed him. He really wanted to quit. but I wouldn't let him because I knew it was a mental breakdown that he had, a lapse of time, because that's just how the mind works. So how was the experience? Fucking amazing. I love each and every one of those instructors. I keep in touch with them. We are great friends.
That's pretty cool. I had a guy on who was a SEAL, also a doctor, and he went back in and worked with Delta.
Yeah.
And he told the story, and what made me I grabbed him off of LinkedIn, and I said, this is an interesting. He said Mike Thornton came and grabbed him during BUD/S and says, he went, oh shit, I'm going to get my ass. This guy's going to whip me up. And he says, Mike Thornton looked at him and says, I'm going to make you a SEAL. And he ran him hard. He ran him super hard. But because of that, he took interest in him. He says, I'm going to do everything in my power to get you to drop. But if you don't, I'm going to make you a SEAL. And you got to love that. Yeah. That's some leadership right there.
That is leadership. Leadership is seeing qualities in people, telling them that, listen, you have two choices. I'm either going to create and mold you into a fucking leader, or you're going to get forgotten in the fucking files of history. Because no one, when you go to BUD/S, right? There were 16 original out of 138 that made it. 51 of us graduated from previous classes. Guys get injured. I know those guys. The people that quit have no fucking clue who they are.
Yeah, nobody knows quitters.
No one, because like I said, you only do two things in life: win and learn. I don't lose because I'm not a fucking quitter. I think we're experiencing a real gap in leadership today in our world. And we can take a long path, depending on how deep you want to go, but either someone's a great leader that people follow, or sadly, they suck and they have to force people to do shit and do things. How can today's leader? What do you think today's leaders can do to be one of the people that others want to follow, as opposed to forcing them? As for our listeners, they want to know how to be a better leader. What do you think they can do to make them one of those? What will it take? Yeah, well, I think it's just you can't be in love with your shadow. You've got to try to work at creating a bigger shadow. What does that mean? Same things that I've hit on before. Treat others the way you want to be treated. You have to learn how to listen, to be a great leader, there's a couple things you need to tell your team. Number one, tell them what you know. Number two, tell them what you don't fucking know, right? Like, people know bullshit. Number three, tell them when you're going to know it. Like, hey, listen, like, you asked me a question. I don't know, coach, but I'll tell you what, give me 2 weeks and I'm gonna get you an answer. Number four, the most important, how you want to get people to respond. Lead by example and no bullshit. Like, I've had people ask me a question before and I'm like, I have no fucking idea, but I will get you an answer, or I will do my best to get you an answer. Ray, when are we going to go out to California? We're going out there on the 20th. I need you to get your tickets by the 18th. I need you both, blah, blah, blah. That's what people know. A lot of people, again, if I start bullshitting you and, circumventing around the fucking answer, well, back when people just, they're going to shut you out. And then what's going to happen is that's going to create doubts and animosity within the ranks. And then before you can't have that. You need to be the Colonel Hal Moore, right? Colonel Hal Moore from We Were Soldiers.
Hal Moore. I love that.
I love the book. The movie was good, but the book's amazing, right? First one on the battlefield, the last one off the battlefield. You cannot be bitching about people coming in late if you're rolling in at fucking 12 o'clock.
That's right.
You can't, right? It's do as I say, do as I'm doing. Now, obviously, there are other CEOs that are on different work schedules, but shit, Bedros Keuilian gets up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and works from home for 4 hours and then comes into work. But his company knows that. So it's not like he rolls in at like fucking 10 o'clock. He's gotten up. He's already done a bunch of stuff. He's already fucking done whatever he does. And then he comes in and he crushes the day. But his team knows that, and they know that they can reach him, versus he just rolls in at 10 o'clock in the morning with a cup of coffee. He's up before everybody else working. I do the same.
He's already slayed half the day by the time he shows up.
Like, I go to the gym at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. People are like, dude, you don't get up at 5 o'clock? Yes, I do. I send out emails. I follow up on things. I literally get up. I have coffee. I have my morning ritual, my routine with my wife. I hit the computer for about an hour, make sure everything's good at the home front. Then I go to the gym and I come back and then I take care. I have this blocked out for a while. I have another podcast today, and I'm going to fucking make 2 or 3 sales today, making fucking money. It's all about compartmentalizing, right? The family, the fitness, the finances, and faith, my 4 F-bombs. I make sure I cover every fucking one of them. And it's just, you just have to learn. I don't like the word time management. It's just guarding your time. I allot so much time for this, and this, and this. That's it. Like leaders, I'll tell you how you become a fucking great leader. Everybody has calendars for what they do at work, right? Everybody, like business meetings and this. Best piece of advice anyone ever gave me is create a calendar for all three of your battlefields: the internal, the work, and the home.
Yep.
I'm taking my daughter to the movies. Tomorrow we've got, I can literally, and they're color coordinated. I have them all in the same thing. Boom, 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 boom. Because what most people do is they will shine in one and they're a fucking turd in the other two. You have to have some sort of resemblance of some kind of shine, balance.
Yeah,
growth.
exactly. And I think that's it. So you've done some fun shit. You're all over the place doing fun stuff all over the time. I was scrolling through some Instagram or something. John Daly hit a freaking golf ball out of your mouth.
Yes.
What the hell was that?
Well, that's what happens when you hang out with Kid Rock, aka Bob Ritchie, and Rob O'Neill. I'm actually going to be down there with him on the 26th doing it again. Biscuits and gravies at 7:30 in the morning, followed by a bunch of Coors Light beer, turns into you don't have a hair on your ass if you don't blah, blah, blah. And we were doing a lot of stuff for charity. I broke the push-up record at the golf club, golf course for like 11,000. But Bob, Kid Rock Bob, I don't like to call him Kid Rock, but we're just sitting there and talking shit, guy from Baltimore versus the guy from Detroit. And he's 2 years older than me. He says, you ain't got a hair on your ass if you don't. I'm like, fuck, I'll let John Daly hit a ball out of my mouth. And sure enough, I didn't think he was going to do it, but he fucking did it. And I think what makes the story so epic is after he did, he just reaches down because I was so nervous. The tee didn't even come out. He just picks up the tee, and just puts it in his pocket. We move on.
It was a classic move. And you look with the look on your face when the video, and they go, you could have given me a freaking warning.
When he told me he was going to give me a countdown, and he did. So
you never want that, right? You don't want the damn countdown.
Just, you know what? I tell people it's kind of like having sex with I'll leave it alone. With an ugly woman. You just got to hang on for the ride, baby. You don't know what.
There you go. Not that we've ever done that. Never done that. So you're having too much fun. So what are you up to next? Tell us some stuff you're up to next so people can find you, how they can find you, what's your plan, what you're doing.
You could always find me on my Ray Cash Care, which is my Instagram. That's my primary account, which has the blue check, or you can hit me up at Frog Mindset. That's my Facebook.
Okay.
What am I doing? I run 3 programs. I'm the lead instructor for the project, which is a all men's course, 75 hours, fully physical, mental, emotional course held in Chino Hills, California. There is a price point with it, but it's a lifelong brotherhood. Number 2, I do corporate training, LTD with Steve Eckhart, leadership team development training, where we go around the country.
Okay.
And we do a watered down version of the project where we focus on the 4 pillars to success: teamwork, problem solving, leadership, communication. We focus on growth. We focus on the 4 F bombs: family, fitness, finance, and faith. We focus on team, trust, effort, attitude, mission. And we incorporate and infuse hands-on drills to show companies where obviously the main disconnect is, and it's usually communication. So we have a lot of cool drills that we do. Last, we do a father-son program called The Squire. We take dads and their sons between the ages of 11 to 15, 16, and we put them through a 14-hour course in Chino Hills, California. And it's amazing. And we give we make our money back, and then whatever we make in profit, we donate. So it's really cool. And then obviously last is I'm the founder of Conquer. So that's where I'm wearing the shirt, where you can just go to raycashcare.com, check that out. And as of late, I'm a big Black Rifle Coffee guy, and I promote and push Black Rifle Coffee just because I love free coffee.
Amen.
And I love the dudes that are there. I've known JT, Logan, Matt, and Evan pre all this. I used to work overseas with the CI, whatever that last letter is, with Evan when he was starting this whole company up. So I love them. I think they've gotten some publicity that's not not becoming of them because it's not true. And I just go around, you know me, I'll tell people the fucking truth. I had a guy once tell me Evan wasn't in the military, and I told him he was full of shit because I worked with all those guys, and they're great dudes. And I'll continue to push and promote my friends for free coffee.
Why not for free coffee? I told you, my wife's in the coffee business, and we love our coffee here. I'll tell you what. So, all right, I do this with all my guests. So I'm going to throw to you a curveball, and I know you can handle it. So I ask you I got three questions. I call them the bald truth question.
Go.
So here it is. You get the whole day, let's say a dinner party. You're holding a dinner party, total 6, you're 1. So you get to invite 5 people. Here's the caveat. You can invite anybody in all of history, alive or dead. Who do you invite?
Elvis, John F. Kennedy, George Washington, Ron Jeremy, and thinking of one more, Robin Williams.
Okay. I hope some of them may not know who Ron Jeremy is, but I'll let you look that up. Google Ron Jeremy. That was great. All right. An article's being written about you after you pass. What's the headline? What's the title?
This motherfucker made an impact.
Excellent. And what do? You talked about your morning ritual, getting up, but what's your actual morning ritual that you use to set yourself up for success?
I love it. I get up every morning and I have a MLL. It's a motto of life. I get up, first thing I do, I jump out of bed. I get out like the Undertaker. I sit straight up. I'm grateful, not greedy, because the first thing I realize is I could have not woken up. Second, I get up and I say, be great today, be a bitch tomorrow. I literally have, on average, 14 to 16 hours to do 2 great things. 2 things: get your ass kicked or kick ass. I choose kick ass. I then kiss my wife, go downstairs, have a great fucking cup of coffee, drink some water, and then I decide I have goals: family, fitness, finances, and faith. I'm going to dominate each fucking one of them, and become 1% better, sharpening my fucking sword of growth. That's what I do.
That's perfect. That's great. So listen to what this is, folks. If you're listening, that's the way Ray Cash Care starts his day. Boom. So Ray, hey, man, thanks for being on the podcast. Thanks for being on the Bald Truth, brother. Email or any other way people get a hold of you, you want to put out there? How can they get a hold of you?
RayCashCare.com. You can hit me up for any questions, comments, concerns. Just my name, RayCashCare.com. Hit me up on Instagram, RayCashCare. You can DM me and I will answer everything as long as
he does. And that's true, folks. He does, because that's how we got here. Because he was doing a push-up challenge, Saturday? And yes. I said, I'll try this shit with this guy. And he called me out right there on the spot. So, and he answered the DM. I saw him on the car, so he's here.
Every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern, I do 1,320 push-ups. That's 22 push-ups on the minute, every minute, for veteran and first responder suicide. I call it the Power Hour of Positivity. If you have negative comments, you will be fucking booted. I have from 4 years old all the way up to 70. If you can't do them, we figure out a way to make it happen. All we do is we motivate, educate, and decimate each other in a positive way.
Amen, brother Ray. Thanks for being on the Bald Truth. Folks, I'm Coach Rick, and that's the Bald Truth.
You've been listening to The Bald Truth with Coach Rick of the Peak Performance Group, the company that helps people and organizations reach their potential. If you're looking for a way to grow your organization, whether it's sales or strategic direction, the Peak Performance Group coaches can help you grow with their proven business acceleration process. Call them at 817-748-7425 or go to mypotentialplus.com and they'll connect you with the right coach for you. And remember to subscribe and like below. The Bald Truth Leadership Podcast is available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, and YouTube video. Hit like and subscribe to get every episode. Thanks for listening to the Bald Truth Leadership Podcast. And until next time, roll up your sleeves and get to work, and you can make things happen.
I'm Coach Rick, and that's the Bald Truth.